There's a quote that goes, evil succeeds because good men do nothing. Evil succeeds when good men do nothing. To see an evil and to do nothing about it, this is called evil. I don't remember who said though that the either one, right? But the idea is ultimately that there are horrible things happening and horrible things being done. Maybe it's a law being passed. Maybe it's just the way in which people are. And you as men are so much more accepting of the suffering. You're so much more accepting of it that it becomes it almost becomes as though you're tolerating it. And a lot of people don't think that they are evil because they do not do the acts of evil themselves. A lot of people think they're good. A lot of people think they're on the fence. It's somewhere in between, but there's no such thing as being on the fence. There's either against evil or with evil. You're either a cog in the system, the machine, you're a part of the car, whether you're the engine or you're the suspension, the exhaust, the gearbox, whether you're the fucking accelerator or the clutch, whether you're the handbrake, whatever it is, right? Let's take that handbrake part away. Let's take that one away because I might actually use that as an example. But whatever it is in the car, unless you are the handbrake or the brakes, you are not acting in resistance towards evil. Therefore, you are tolerating it. Therefore, you are allowing it. Therefore, you are accepting it. Therefore, you are with it. That's just how it is. You either fight against it or you're fighting with it. Now imagine evil. Evil is this war machine, this machine made for mass destruction. And it seeks exactly that, working day and night, persisting, never giving up, never letting up. Foot always on the accelerator. Well, what do? You either fight against it or you fight with it. And if you tolerate it, you're accepting it, you're allowing it. There's a quote by Alexander the Great where he says there's been a constant war, a war with fear. And those who are conquered by it, those who have the courage to defeat it are made free, and those who are conquered by it are made to suffer until they have the courage to defeat it. You are either he who conquers it, who has the courage to face it and defeat it, but that's a lifelong task. You don't just defeat it now and you're done, right? When you defeat it, it's one of those things where when you win, you make sure you win. And you make sure your win stands tall and true forever. But that's the idea. The idea is that as soon as you let up, it will take over. As soon as you give it any room, any space, it will break through those small little cracks like water. This thing is like a war machine that will never give up. So you have to fight it for with every single breath you take. Every single breath you take. Your existence itself must be a fight against evil. And if it is not a fight against evil, what is it? Another point I want to raise. Men are upset with the way things are, the way women are. I ask this question, what are women truly? In all honesty, a woman is just the reflection of a man. That's all it is. That's all they are. Women reflect the man. So As much as one might complain, as much as one might get upset, as much as one might fight and cry and whine, the woman is just the reflection of the man. So if we live in a society where the women love not themselves nor others, we live in a society where women treat others horribly, treat themselves horribly. They do not regard themselves as, I don't even know what to say. We live in a society where we ultimately live in a society where women want to act as men. Interesting. There is a lot of that. Now, I'm not going to say that's all women, but I'm going to say there's a lot of it. What does it ultimately say about what does it ultimately say? What it says is that the men don't love themselves because the women just reflect the men. So if the women don't love themselves, the men don't love themselves. The women just do what the men do. They are a reflection of the man. That's it. So as much as you might complain and cry and argue, if you're the kind of man who truly loves himself and works on himself and cares for himself and others, you will attract that into your life and genuinely repel everything else. You will genuinely repel everything else. It's similar to when you go out and you approach girls. This is an example I use because this is something. It's one of the points I really picked up on it. At first, I was able to attract a particular caliber of woman because of the way I felt about myself, my self-esteem, my level of confidence. But then, as I grew, as I developed myself, as I bettered myself, as I became more attractive to myself, more confident within myself, and just more capable, and as I built more value from within, as I learned to, I won't say I know myself, but I'll say I've come a long way from knowing I know nothing. From not knowing I know nothing to knowing I know nothing. I've come a long way in accepting my ignorance. I've come a long way. And as a result of that journey, I can truly say that hmm, as a result of that journey, I for some reason was unable to attract the caliber of woman I was once able to attract. And for some odd reason, let's say I was only attracting fives. For some odd reason, every time I approach a five, I get rejected. And it's not like I'm getting rejected because I'm ugly or I do a bad approach. I get rejected as though it's like some sort of resistance towards me. Like this happened on Saturday last week. I approached a girl and she just had this wall up. She was really like, at first she was just walking, doing her thing. She looked at her phone and then she looked up. But then I came to approach her. I was like, "Hi, excuse me." And then she was all of a sudden this barrier, bro, this force field, invisible barrier came up and she was just on her, she had a gym body. That's why I approached her, but her face was like a five, but her gym body was okay. It was alright. I'd give it like a never mind. Let me not even say what I'd give her. But let's just say she was physically attractive. Her face card was not the best. It was a solid like 5, maybe 4.8. She was just average, maybe below average. But her body was good. So that's why I approached her. Physical attraction only. As soon as I'm like, hey, excuse me, hey, this invisible force field comes up. She looks at me with these eyes of like, and then she looks at her phone and she unlocks her phone. I swear I said this in a video I made yesterday. She unlocked her phone just to lock her phone, acting like she was doing something. You know when you unlock your phone, scroll, swipe, 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 scroll, lock your phone. Dude, you did nothing. You just did it to do it. There was no purpose, no reason. She did that. And I was like, hello? We were walking, right? Walking the same direction. So I was like, hello? And then she just looked at me and carried on. She started like pacing faster. And I just laughed and I turned around. I was like, okay, whatever. Okay, whatever, man. And it's funny because that'll happen. And the person would think to themselves, oh shit, this girl rejected me. She doesn't even want to talk to me. And cry about it. But it depends on where you're coming from. You see, at first, that was the kind of girl I would have been able to attract, right? That was the kind of girl I'd go up, out, approach, and she would like me. But now she's in resistance to me. It's almost as though we're like the same sides of a magnet and we just repel. What then happened was that I approached this one girl who was fine shit. Fine shit. Like, she looked good. Body, beautiful, like just gorgeous body. Like this is the kind of body you would like if you were to be like, okay, what do I want my girl to look like? That's the kind of body she has. And then she has a very cute face. I'd sit her comfortably at like a 7.5 out of 10, right? Using the value scale, because that's what people want, right? People like, oh shit, was the value scale. She was very like stand out the crowd attractive, and she was wearing this pink dress, no bra, no bra, and you could tell when a girl's wearing a bra when she's not. No bra, pink dress. She has natural hair, ponytail, um, looking sexy and shit, right? And I approach her and she's very receptive. She's very like, oh my gosh, hi, oh my gosh, you made me so nervous, blah, blah, blah. And we just had an amazing interaction. And she was very attractive. And it's like, well, if I was coming off weird, right? If I was coming off very strange, if I was coming off like a, a, a retarded carrot, a carrot with Down syndrome, if I was coming off like something like that, right? She would have rejected me as well. She wouldn't have liked me as much as she liked me. She wouldn't have been like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so flattered and so engaged in the conversation and actively showing me what they call signs of interest," right? She wouldn't have been doing that. She would have been like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I have a boyfriend," or maybe she'd be like, "No, no, thank you, nice to meet you," and all that shit. But she was loving it. And then all the other girls that I approached, not all of them, one of them had a boyfriend. The other one had a child, so I had to like pull away from that. I'm not trying to be no stepdaddy. But the point is I got rejected by a girl who was, let's say, a 5. And now my new range of girls that are, that I attract is 7.58. Maybe 7, 7.5. That range, right? And it's because I've grown as a person. It's because I've gone along this path and I've reached a new point in here, mind, body, and soul. And as a result of that, that which I attract is that which I am, and that which I am is no longer the 5. It's no longer attractive to the 5 either. Or maybe it's just that she found me absolutely revolting and she was just disgusted by my presence, so she just ran away. One of the two, right? One of the two. But I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, women are just the reflection of men. right? I say all of this to say that women are the reflection of men. So if you're attracting certain types of women into your life, it probably means it means more about you than it means anything about them. They just reflect you as a man. The world itself reflects you, right? So if you're upset with the way things are, don't look outside. Don't look at this and that. Don't blame, oh, modern women are like this and blah, 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 right? There's no point in doing that because you achieve nothing. You have to take accountability for the reality. Stop living in la la land where everything is not your fault and this is just the way the world is. No, it's not just the way the world is. It's the way the world has become as a result of your ignorance, as a result of the self-chosen ignorance you have chosen to suffer. You've surrendered yourself to self-chosen ignorance. And as a result of that, you suffer the consequences of this self-chosen ignorance, which is the same consequence as that is suffered when good men choose to do nothing about evil. When you see an evil and you do nothing about it, that's the same thing it's so you've created this chain, this loop of suffering because there's all this evil and you do nothing about it. There's all this, I don't know, there's this world of madness and chaos. And you're just allowing it to happen. You're just allowing the tyrants to be tyrants. You're allowing the oligarchs to rule, the totalitarian system to prevail. You're allowing yourself to be subdued. You're allowing evil to persist. You're allowing evil to win because you do nothing against it. If you take a car, for example, you are not the handbrake. You are not the brakes. You are everything else that helps the car function and move forward, propels it forward. You're not the thing that resists the forward movement. And because of that, you fight with evil and not against it. So the world is the way it is because of you, not because of the woman, because of you. You, the man, are at fault. You, the man, are in charge. You do not love yourself, so the woman will not love themselves. You do not care for yourself, so the woman will not care for themselves. You do not care for others, so the woman will not care for others. You do not show compassion nor empathy, so the woman will show no compassion, nor will they show empathy. The understanding that women are the reflection of men, and that you, as a man, it is your fault. I don't care what anybody else says. I don't care what anybody else does. It is your fault. You are the problem, and you are the only solution to this problem. It is this constant battle with you, and you have to succeed. You have to win, and the only way to succeed is to fight against it actively, to actively engage in battle with that which you deem as evil, and to win, because it's not easy to win. But winning is easier than losing. Holy fucking shit. Bars! No, I don't mean, but winning is easier than losing, and that's very deep. It's not easy to win, but winning is easier than losing. So you have to decide what side you're on whether you're on the side of evil or you're on the side of good. And it's again one of those things where it's extremely difficult to discern what is truly evil and what is truly good. What actions deem are deemed as good and what actions are deemed as evil, because this whole thing has become so confusing. Evil has been winning for so long that it's led you to be so confused that you cannot even discern between it and that which is good. That's kind of crazy. That is kind of crazy. You're in a position where you're so brainwashed, mind warped, that you don't even know the difference between right and wrong, good and evil. You don't even know the difference between up and down, backwards and forwards, left and right, yes and no. I swear. And this is just the consequence of not fighting back, of actively allowing the evil to win, of not engaging in battle against it, of not being the enemy, of not threatening the status quo. This is the result of not living in the truth, the result of hiding and whimpering behind the skirts of lies, because it's easier to do so. Hmm. It's easier to hide behind the skirts of lies than it is to face the truth. Because the truth is something else. And this particular quote, the truth sets you free, it is so true. The truth will set you free. It is so true. And people are so afraid of freedom. But that's a topic for another day, honestly. People are too afraid of freedom to want the truth, want to hear it, want to see it, want to know it, want to live in it. People are too afraid of freedom. So because they know the truth sets you free, they run away from the truth so they can stay in this container, this cage, wherein which they know what the systems and the functions are. They know their duty. They are able to identify as something. They're able to live in this cage with a given role and waste away, never truly living their lives. Again, the quote by William Wallace: all men die, but not all men really live. So you need to decide which side you're on. You need to decide which side you are on. Whether you're on the side of the truth, whether you're on the side of evil or that which opposes evil. I'm not going to call it good, but whatever it is that opposes evil, the thing that stands against evil, you're either on that side or you're on the side of evil. That's it. That's literally it. I'll see you in the next video.